Hello everybody, this is Reggie Time here, and we're going to be coming at you with an update from my Bankroll challenge that I've been doing. Since the 13th of November, I've played 110 hours. I've made £300 on Sky and $160 on Triple Eight for around, just over $500 net profit. So the basic nuts and bolts of the numbers have been really good. Really pleased with we've managed to make over 50 buy-ins in just over a month, maybe 40 days of actual play. So that's really quite pleasing. But now I want to talk about the mental side of the challenge. And to be honest, it's a tangled web of all kinds of thoughts that have been rattling through my mind as I've been playing over the last 40 days or so. So I've kind of written a few things down, and I want to try and talk through them all. When I started the challenge, I was proper keen. I was keen as mustard to try and win 100 binds at 10-0. And because the challenge started just with me having $100 in the bankroll, there was an element of gamble involved, and the chance that I could fail, given that one short, sharp downswing at the start would have ended the challenge before it even began. And that kind of got my juices flowing. There was an excitement when playing. Despite it being for stakes that were 3 times lower than my average buy-in. And that's because the feelings that the losses and the wins meant something. If we had losses early on, it would have derailed the challenge. And the wins, when you've got the $100 bankroll, winning a $4 pot or a $5 pot, giving yourself a 5% increase to your roll, they mean something, and the whole thing has meaning. And it feels good. It feels good to win. It feels bad to lose. And this feeling stayed with me pretty much until I took a shot at the 20-0 games on Sky. That initially went well before a downswing put an end to the shot. And then since then, despite a brief sojourn back at the snap tables, when I put some maybe 8,000 hands in 3 days, my motivation, it's gone AWOL. It really has. My motivation to grind 10-0. I still want to play poker, but my motivation to grind 10-0, it's not there. At first, I thought I was just a bit jaded. I put a lot of hours into poker since the start of the challenge, way over 100 hours, and then that's not counting for the making the videos, doing written updates, and a few other poker-related stuff. So I thought it was reasonable to assume that my mental lethargy was possibly down to a little bit of burnout or something like that. I played plenty the last couple of days, and I just felt nothing. I mean, I wanted to win. Of course, I wanted to win. But when I went up by a couple of stacks, I was whatever. I wasn't really moved by it. And then I wasn't really moved when I lost around 4 stacks for an overall loss of a couple of stacks over the couple of days. Well, this is obviously it's a positive because, having no emotional attachment to the money is what we all claim to strive to want to do when we're playing poker. So the wins and losses not affecting you is it's strongly considered to be a good thing. It actually felt bad. It felt like I'd stopped caring. Now, I understand when we're playing poker, we have to have, or we think we have to have, a total disassociation with the money. We have to be completely not affected by the ups and the downs. But in a way, that's right. But at the same time, I think there's got to be some kind of stimulus too. There has to be some kind of stimulus to play. And I think the pleasure from winning and the pain from losing, they're the stimuluses to try and do your best. If you're kind of playing for money that really doesn't matter to you, it almost feels like you're starting to play with play money. And I guess that's how it felt with me, I played with play money. When I lost, it didn't matter because it didn't hurt me. And when I won, it didn't really matter to me because it didn't change anything. It was, I just felt like I could stop caring. So this has made me think today. It's the first time in a very long time, maybe ever since I started playing, that I am finding the grind pretty damn boring. Playing when winning or losing has absolutely no effect on my emotions whatsoever, and much as that's a state I've wanted to get to for years, it's really not as cool as I thought it might be. It really isn't, because you just sat there thinking, what am I doing here? I played the other night, and I was playing 2 8 tables and a 10 table at 3 in the morning. And nothing much was happening. I wasn't getting many cards. The games weren't exactly awesome. And I just started thinking to myself, what are we actually doing here? Why am I up? at 3 o'clock in the morning playing some 8-0 games that, to be frank, I just didn't give a fuck about. I just struggled to care. I really struggled to care for the first time. And that not caring, it feels like it's taken some of the edge and the sharpness from the game. For a very, very long time, I've given a lot of credence to the belief that if you're not loving something, there's no way you're ever going to be the best you can be at it. You can be competent, you can be good at something. Tons of people have jobs that they don't love, and they're very competent in them. But they don't enjoy them, and they're probably not as good as they could be at it if they really, really loved it. I mean, I found poker before it was like, when I found poker, I was a pure gambler. That's what I was. That's what it was. I was a gambler. And then the online betting became a thing. Then I became an online poker. I mean, I just go to the bookies every day. And I used to bet on football, horses, dogs, rugby. I enjoyed the cracks, sitting with the guys in the bookies, listening to all the old men's stories, having a smoke, popping across the road, having a pint. The whole thing. I was young. I enjoyed the gamble. And then as online gambling became a thing, I found online poker. I gambled with friends too, and by no means I was not a degenerate. Yeah, I gambled a lot, but I wasn't a degenerate. It was all very much controlled. It was just a social thing for me. Gambling was a social thing. I was a losing recreational gambler that enjoyed the thrill of winning, and to be honest with you, like sometimes even when you lose, it's like, you know what, it presents itself as a challenge. We got disappointed when we lost, but it meant something. Got the bookies in the afternoon losing 20 or 30 quid when I was only getting paid like maybe £200 a week. It meant something, and then if I went and won £50, it meant something. The whole thrills, the ups and downs, it kept your blood pumping. And like for the first year or so of my poker life, it was just another way for me to lose at gambling. And I was completely fine with that because I enjoyed playing poker. I really enjoyed the height of winning because it was like a reward for something I had done rather than just some footballer or jockey like doing something good and me profiting from the back of it. And it just felt like it was actually, I was getting a reward for my own skill rather than someone else's skill. And that's what I liked about poker. When I lost, at least I had someone to blame. It's like, yeah, I didn't do very well there, rather than, oh, that jockey's just been shit, or that footballer missed that open goal, etc., or the referee's a knobhead, all these things. I don't expect I'm in any way unique in this. And like, in terms of like, the feeding off the highs and the lows of being a gambler. When you listen to all these old school gamblers, like Phil Ivey, Dor Brunson, all these guys, they've all said the same thing. The thrill of winning's got to mean something, and the pain of losing's got to mean something, because that's kind of how you like get the best from yourself. If winning or losing means nothing to you, I think it's hard to excel. I think it's really hard to excel. And yeah, so I don't think I'm in any way unique in this way of thinking. I think, the deeper into the challenge I've got, the less I've enjoyed it, because the highs haven't been anywhere near high enough for me to want more of them. Like winning $15 over a 3-hour grind, a fucking big deal, And the disappointment of like losing maybe 2-3 buy-ins over $30 over 2 or 3 hours. I was like, that didn't really hurt. It didn't hurt at all. It's just pissed me off that I've wasted 3 hours of my life grinding 10-0 snap and like not like achieved anything with it. And there was just no highs and lows. I was just flatlining basically. So I was out driving today, and I was like driving to a place where I work. I was like alone with thoughts a little bit, and it struck me that I, and probably most or many other players, needed to be some kind of thrill and excitement when playing. This is why like tournaments are so popular. If winning means very little and losing doesn't hurt, I just don't think it's going to hold many people's attention. And I don't think poker would have a lasting appeal to me if it was just like play money was the only thing left in poker. Then I wouldn't play. We're playing for money. We're playing for the thrill of winning. We're playing for the pain of losing. And we're playing to hopefully make some money that makes an actual difference to our lives. And I feel this is like part of the reason why online poker has lost its appeal to recreational players, because there's just so many players in there that are just like grinding it out and playing tons of tables. There's no social aspect to it, and because you can play for like such small stakes, recreational players, how much do they really want to do that? They play the highest stakes, they get killed quickly. They'll deposit their 50 quid, they'll want to play a 50-0 game, and they get killed within seconds. And when they play 5-0 or 10-0 to try and make their money last, it just doesn't hold their attention. So I think that's kind of, but when you go to the casino and you see someone buying for the £50, they can make that last an entire evening. They can get pleasure from it. They can get a chance of winning 100 quid or something like that. And that happens quite often in the casino. Fishy players can have a lucky night and they can win and they can entertain themselves for 4 or 5 hours, actually come away a winning player for the night. A recreational player online can't do that. You can't put £50 on as a recreational player, play a 50-0 game and make it last 6 hours and win. It just doesn't happen. Like poker, it's a romantic game. I mean, its history is steeped in romance. From like the backroom games of the 50s and 60s when the good players like mingle with thieves and vagabonds, and all the way to the glory of winning the WSOP Untold Millions. That romance has got to be there if you can make a lot of money from a little bit of money, and that romance doesn't exist when you're playing 10-0 trying to win 100 buy-ins. It just isn't there. So like, the sterility of like cash game grinding is pretty dull at the best of times. So when you're playing with money that means something to you, it at least adds something to it. When you're playing with money that doesn't mean anything to you, it can quite often be a very unrewarding pastime. And when the wins and losses don't even register other than push you like a few quid closer or further away from completing your goal, it can get very, very dull. Like I said, at the start of the goal, it's exciting because, you're trying to spin 100 to 1,000. When you're at that 500, 600 mark, you're right in the middle of it. You're like, really? I lose 2 buy-ins, it doesn't push me anywhere near the brink of failing the challenge. I win 3 buy-ins, it doesn't push me closer enough to completing it to like hold my attention. And it just got really, really dull. I think if I'd had some kind of prop bet running, then it might have been different, because I'd have had like, oh, if I get this challenge done, I'm going to make another £500 or £1,000 or something. But I don't know or trust anyone enough in the online world to make that kind of prop bet, and it's too late anyway. And to be frank, I'm just getting ready to just return to my normal games at the start of next year and just crack on with 2017. So what I'm saying is I'm not going to be continuing with the challenge. So does that make the challenge a failure? Well, yes, it does, of course, but no as well. So I'm going to explain why I think it is a failure and why it isn't a failure. It's been a failure because I have failed to reach the $1,000 mark. That's unquestionable. It can't be argued with. So I've failed in the challenge. Because it was the key part of the challenge, turn 100 into 1,000. My main reasons for starting the challenge, they weren't financial at all, at least not directly financial. I just wanted to create like a lot of videos demonstrating how with like a decent work ethic, discipline, and a decent skill level, you can build a bankroll from a relatively small amount of money. And I feel I've achieved this. Going from like $100 to approximately $600 in 40 days is pretty good going, especially for someone who still considers himself to be like a hobbyist. I'm not a hardcore full-time grinder, although I accept 100 hours in 40 days. Isn't it's more than recreational, I would imagine. So I've failed in the 1,000, but I think I've achieved what I wanted to achieve, which is demonstrate you can make a bankroll from next to nothing. I mean, the fact I've only made it up to 600, it's inevitable I was going to make the 1,000. All grinding this extra $400 out is it just been exercising like time and just continue to put the time in to make it. If I was hovering around 150 now, then the challenge would have been a complete failure because I wouldn't have made enough money to demonstrate how possible it is. But given that I've made, about $500 or so in a month, tells me that, and should tell you guys, I've actually demonstrated that it is possible. I would like to have made it to the $1,000 target. Of course I would, but I just lost the motivation to prove that now. Is it likely that I would have lost all the 500 back and gone broke? Of course not. It's almost close to impossible that would have happened. It would just be a matter of how long is it going to take me to make these next 40 buy-ins to complete the challenge. And I just don't want to do that anymore. I mean, the videos are done pretty well, which I'm pleased about. I don't spam them anywhere anymore, apart from like a couple of Facebook groups. And they're doing pretty good for views, about 4,200 views so far over 20 videos, and without spamming it anywhere, that is decent going by my channel standards. I've not been spamming them, so I'm really pleased with that. However, I think that comes with just a small downside, Because I think I've been making so many videos and like so many hours worth of those videos. I've been giving a lot away about how I play to very small player pools, which sometimes messes with my mind a little bit, because some regulars have been commenting at the tables about the challenge, about my channel, about the videos and things. Some good, some complimentary, some not so complimentary. Doesn't matter which, whether they're complimenting me or not. What matters is people are watching them, and it makes me wonder, like, ooh, what do they know about me? What don't they know about me? Am I being exploited by some people, etc.? It just kind of adds an extra level of complexity that I don't need to have in the back of my mind, especially at 10-0 when I'm already struggling to give much of a monkeys. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with my YouTube channel in 2017. I know I'm not going to be producing more than one video per week because of like time allowances now. I'm going to be very business with my new day business that we're just starting. It's going to really start producing a lot of work for me and my wife in the next few weeks and months. So I've got that business. I've got my online business as well, which is only a small one, but it takes up time. And I've also got my day job, which is only 15 hours contracted per week, but I do pick up some relief work there too. So I'm not going to be making more than one video per week, and I'm not sure what format it's going to be, because live play format, it's not ideal, is it? It's nice for a while, but whether I'm going to start, I might start doing like a weekly update of how my poker like week's gone, with maybe some hand history reviews in there, maybe with some general observations. Who knows? Maybe if people want to send me some hands, we can look at them and look at other people's hands and do that. I don't know yet how it's going to go, but it's just going to be one video a week. So I guess I just want to end this with that. My apologies to anyone who was following the challenge and wanted to see me complete it. I'll take any trolling that comes my way, but I hope I've explained in a decent way why it's ended early. I think just to go back over it, even though we haven't finished the challenge, I think you've demonstrated what I wanted to set out to demonstrate, which was it's still possible in modern poker to build a bankroll from a relatively small amount. So hopefully that's been proved, and if you guys think I haven't proved that, then that's up to you guys to take me to task on that. So I guess that's all left me to do now, is to pretty much just say good luck to everyone who subscribed to my channel and members of my Facebook group for next year, for 2017. I hope you all do well. I hope you all run good, and I hope you all just keep contributing to the channel, keep contributing to the Facebook group. Because even if you don't, think I'm maybe the best poker player in the world or anything like that, hopefully creating a couple of entities, a couple of things where people can contribute, get stuck in, put things into it, hopefully helps you get something out of it. So even if you disagree with everything I say, if it just makes you think and makes you draw your own conclusions, it's a benefit to you. It's the same as anything else. The more you contribute and put into something, generally the more you get out of the back end of it. So yeah, please keep spreading the word about the group, keep spreading the word about the channel. And yeah, I guess that's it for now. Let's sign out for 2016. I don't think I'll be making another video this year. Seems unlikely. So yeah, good luck everybody, and we'll see you all next year. Take care, and bye for now.